Hi, welcome, Joe. Thank you for coming in from Hong Kong. We're very pleased to have you with us today. And do you think you can share with us more about what you do and what your organization, Hong Kong Housing Society, does for older people?
Okay, well, actually, the Hong Kong Housing Society is a non-government organization. This year is our 75th anniversary, and of course, our mandate is about housing provisions. But as a matter of fact, quite a number of the residents in our housing estate or projects, they are older adults. So my section is a social and elderly wellness section. It's responsible for senior housing, where we provide holistic care for the older adults, and also in those public rental housing managed by the Hong Kong Housing Society, we would be also providing care to those older residents. So that's the major duties of Hong Kong Housing Society and myself.
Great. And share with us about your role and how do you lead at Hong Kong Housing Society? What do you do directly for older people?
Well, actually, I am responsible for supervising 4 projects. 4 of those all are senior housing projects. I have to lead multidisciplinary teams, including social workers, nurses, physio, occupational therapists, and also experts in the property management fields. And we will be providing what we call a mix of care, which include housing, healthcare, and social care for the tenants living in our senior housings.
What is your care philosophy?
Well, I think, the most important is we are not just a service provider or a care provider. I think care, we should be a co-creator with the older adults, because we should not regard them as people who are without any ability. They are someone with ability. So when we are providing care, actually, we need to be a co-creator. That is, we have to identify what ability or residual ability they still have. And we have to motivate them, or to sometimes make sort of training or encouragement, so that they can do what they still can do. We are just someone who walk with them. So all these, we would be providing them with something with a respect, with dignity. I think it's most important. Otherwise, they would be just a passive receiver. Then I think even the care is very good, I think they won't be happy with that.
I think that's exactly the point about how we can enable them to feel happy and lead life with purpose.
Yeah.
You must have many wonderful stories about your experiences with older people. And could you recall 1 or 2 stories to share with us about an experience of a senior whose life has changed quite significantly ever since being under your care support?
Well, what impressed me most is once I come across an old lady. She used to be a housewife, and then she didn't work. And I think her career is providing wonderful care to her family members. But at that time, she was suffering from stroke, and she was so depressed. Why? Because she think, well, doing all the housework, doing the cleansing, cooking for her children is something simple, because she has been doing it for, I don't know, 40 to 50 years. But now she was struck, and she can't do those what she thought was simple tasks. So she was so depressed. But it's important for us to use what she think is important, doing the house chores. For example, our physio will be training her with good balancing so that she can do the cleansing again without fear of fall, and so bit by bit she can pick up what she thought was a normal life in before. And the other part is, which impressed me also very much, is we are not just working with the older adults. We have to work with their family members. Her children they were all care towards their mother, but the care sometimes turns to be a pressure because, well, in the past, that this lady, she was thinking, in the past, I am the one who take care of them, but now I turn to be someone useless. I have to depend on them. So encouragement from the family members is important, but still they have to provide some space for the older adults to, just as I said before, let her to use her residual ability, and that's important. So to me, what impressed me most is we are not just working with older adults, we work with the family as a whole.
And I think sometimes the family members have a much bigger impact than they realize on that older adult lives, that they are leading. We want to talk a bit about quality of life and quality of care in this conversation today. When you hear these two statements, what comes to mind? What is your feelings about it?
Well, first of all, quality of life is very subjective. What Janice you regard as quality of life may be different from mine, but in general, I think, well, there are some common factors among peoples regarding quality of life. First is about companionship, and we engage with other people. The other is about healthy. Do we have a healthy life? Do we have a safe life? And most important, I think quality of life implies, do we have the freedom of choice? Many people will be saying, oh, I don't want to go to a residential care home because everything is structured, scheduled. Then it seems there would be little choice for them. So I think, well, when we are talking about quality of life, can we provide people, particularly with older adults, with all these elements in their life? And to me, quality of care would be something about what we provide the care services. Is it aiming towards the needs of the older adults? If we are providing something excellent, but that was not expected or needed by the older adults, I'm sorry, I don't think that's quality of life, quality of care.
What would you like to change most about the way people think about, providing this service to older people? What are some things you hope that you can drive change in?
I think most important is, well, we have to get the older adults to, they have to participate. They have to express what's their expectations. Of course, the reality is sometimes their expectation can't be fulfilled every time, but at least we have to talk to them, know their expectations, and then come up with something we call care, which is agreeable to the older adults. Then I think it would be nearer to the path of quality of life.
I think that's definitely so. In working in this sector, do you think you've come across situations where seniors tell you that they don't want to do anything, and how do you manage over time to find out what they want?
Well, obviously there would be quite a number of times that they are reluctant or they are passive. I think why is that so? That is there may be several factors. The first is they failed before. They try, but they can't find something or some care that would fulfill their needs. The second, I think most important, is about trust, because as a care provider, if the older adults they don't trust me, they would not tell me anything what is in their mind. So I think taking out the difficulties they have encountered needs a trustful relationship. And I know that's not easy, because why have to trust you? Because you were just a staff of Founding Society, and I met you the first time, and I think it needs time, and I think much important, we need to be having good observation to know some tiny little stuff or little issues in their life, and that start with what we call a genuine caring.
I think that's really very good points that relate to our conversation this afternoon about quality of life, and trying to improve that experience and purpose that older people have. Our next topic will bring us to chat a bit about the technology that's being used, and in particular technologies that you've experienced that help to improve quality of life. And your idea of the use of technologies for older people, because sometimes people say, I don't want to interact with a robot, or staff are saying that we can't really replace a lot of things with technology. What is your experience with technologies for the aging sector?
I think when we start to use some sort of technology, or what nowadays we call it general technology, I think there will be several important issues. The first is it easy to use? To the older adults, they need some time to learn about it. But for example, if we start at the very beginning, it's really just like a rocket science, and they would develop a sense of fear towards that. So the first thing is it easy? For example, nowadays we would be having many facial recognition or voice recognitions. Then if we are using that technology to start using the technology or using the equipment, it will be easier for the older adults. The second one, nowadays we would be using many technology for treatment or for rehabilitations, for trainings. For example, cognitive training. I think is it funful? They're just like a child playing with a PS5. Then they would enjoy using the technology. Otherwise, we should never or try our best to avoid a sense of failure. Then it would be better, because nowadays I think the situation is changing, because we have I think in Hong Kong, and I think it's the same in Singapore, we are having more and more young old, and they have relatively more contact with these technologies, and I think it will be easier in the coming years for care providers to have a wider application of technology.
I think it does come with different generations, and the ease of use of technology as part of their daily lives. And it is true that as generations change, that will also change. And in 20 years' time, we might be perfectly happy having a chat with our AI robot, and they think that that's normal life for us. How about in the area of measuring happiness? Currently, have you experienced or used any technology adoptions that help with measurement of happiness, or any particular analytics that you want to highlight that you're currently curious or implementing?
Well, in the area of application of technology, I think in my organization, it's a little bit left behind. We didn't apply much technology in the measurement of happiness, but
Mm,
we still depends on traditional research, questionnaires, and also sometimes observations to
mm,
know. But I think, when we are talking about the relationship of technology and happiness, I think one of the important indicators is about the behavior of the participants.
mm,
Would they be well withdrawn from participating, or they would be enjoying, and there will be laughter and smile when they are enjoying it, and also would they be inviting their fans,
mm,
their neighbors to get involved. I think nowadays we will be using more on the behavioral side to see how much or how enjoyable those arrangements are for them.
yes. I think that's very important. And I think nothing can take away that human touch and human interaction, of
Yes, yes.
course. And I think that's always very important.
Mm.
How about sharing with our audience about your insights on the common traits of Hong Kong's older people that are living in Hong Kong housing societies development? What are some interesting observations that you've seen that makes Hong Kong seniors a little bit different from the rest of the world? Any insights to share with us?
Okay. Well, of course, there are differences and there are also commonalities.
Mm,
But I think the most important things I found among the older adults in Hong Kong is it changes.
yeah.
When I first worked in elder care, they are many of them, as Janice you said, they are quite reserved. They're not so participative. But nowadays, well, I think they change a lot. And I think it may be a global phenomenon. I don't know, but I think in Hong Kong, the most happiest issue to me is that I can see more and more male older adults. They are involved in the activities. Would it be dancing? Would it be singing? Just like recently, we have an event. The older adults they will be having they will be dancing with the young people, and I
Mm,
found that among the older adults, it would be half a female and half a male. In the old bad days, for example, we have 10 older adults participating. There would be just about 1 to 2 men. But I think it's changing, and I think Hong Kong, just like Singapore, is a place where East meets West. So I think one of the differences of the Hong Kong older adults is they have quite a number of chance to know more about Western culture, and also we
mm,
preserve the Chinese culture. So I
yeah.
think working with them is not easy because they know both sides of the culture, and I think it would be challenging but rewarding to us.
Yeah. Oh, we can really feel your passion and excitement about your work in this sector. How do you think we can excite more people to work in this sector? In Singapore and in many parts of the world, we have a shortage of care staff coming into the sector and a challenge of retaining care staff. With that talent drain that we have. We're always trying to see how we can maintain our current care staff, motivate them, and also attract new talent to the industry. What can you share with us about Hong Kong's experience and also your personal experience in this area of staffing?
I think there would be several important points. The first one is never ever we get a stereotype of what should be the services for the older adults. If we would try to attract more young people to enter into the industry, we have to trust them. we have to maybe their encounter among the young people. So maybe they will be saying, or they will be trying to introduce something just like or paying TV games or something for the older adults. We shouldn't say, oh no, please don't. That's for young people. That's not for the older adults. I think we have to give them trust and space. And the second one is about Hong Kong as a whole. We have to establish a culture. I like to call it a caring community for older adults. If people are thinking that, oh, you get a lower grade job for working for the older adults, and you should be working as a doctor, you should be working as a lawyer, then I think a status for people who work for older adults is important. Of course, I think just give them trust and space, as I said, is not enough. We need some people who has been in the industry for some time to do proper coaching for them, so that they will know what they can do better in the future.
And I think that really also sounds like a role that you also take on as a nurturing mentor for people who want to enter the industry. So for those of you out there who are curious about the care sector, you can also leave us comments after watching the video and let us know your interest. One of the big goals of doing this series is also to introduce the care sector to people out there and encourage those who are in the sector that are doing a fantastic job. I think it's wonderful models like everyone we've interviewed, and thank you very much, Joe, for sharing your insights from Hong Kong Housing Society today.
CarePage Business is the only feedback platform designed for the health and ageing sectors. With CarePage Business, you can uncover powerful customer experience insights, monitor resident or client feedback and complaints in a single, easy-to-use platform, and get the insights you need to drive continuous improvement in services and facilities. The CarePage Business feedback solution is designed to be accessible for your residents and clients. With large fonts and high contrast colours, surveys and feedback forms are designed for older audiences and individuals with cognitive or other impairments such as low vision. You can also offer surveys in a range of languages. CarePage business dashboards and analytics have been designed with the sector in mind, giving you clear oversight over one or multiple services. All feedback flows in real time into a cloud-based system where executives and managers can look at top-level reporting and delve into deeper analytics to look at feedback and complaints themes and identify areas for celebration or improvement. Free up your team's time managing and monitoring feedback so you can focus on delivering high-quality care and services. Get the complete feedback, complaints and continuous improvement solution designed for the health and ageing sectors.